Hello and welcome. I'm Anna Wells, the Executive Editor of Industrial Distribution. Today I'll be joined in the studio by ID's Managing Editor, Mike Hockett, and we'll be walking you through the list of the top 50 industrial distributors based on their reported revenue for fiscal year 2019. We'd like to thank our Big 50 sponsor this year, Epicor Software. As many of you well know, we've been tracking the top industrial products distributors since the early 1990s. Between strong organic growth, as well as growth by acquisition, there are often changes year over year. This year, we will walk through the list as well as the impacts influencing rankings. While it's easy to let the 2020 economic landscape overshadow all that led up to it, it's important to note that there was some softening within the industrial market during the second half of 2019. As we examine the 2019 fiscal revenue numbers of these companies, we'll review the market as it was in 2019, as well as add some context with what we're seeing today. We also want to acknowledge that there are a handful of companies who elect not to share their revenue numbers year over year, and those companies, McMaster-Carr and SunSource, for example, have been left off the list. Our number 50 company sets the baseline for entry onto the Big 50 list with a revenue figure of $132 million in sales, and that is Florence, Alabama-based Martin Supply. Martin's sales dipped by $3 million over the prior year, and according to a company spokesperson, this came as a result of Martin selling Townsend Door Hardware and Systems, a business it had acquired in 1998. Martin spent 2019 growing its e-commerce business and also acquiring 2 safety distributors. At number 49, Cummins Wagner posted $135 million in revenue. In August, the company announced the acquisition of F.R. Mahoney, a manufacturer's rep distributor in water and wastewater markets in New England. A company representative told ID that the acquisition, quote, adds 2 additional branches to give us a total of 14 branches in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast regions, as well as Florida. Our next company is a newcomer to the Big 50 list, and that is Ibt Industrial Solutions, a PVF distributor with 17 locations in the South and Southeast. Eastern is an affiliated distributors member and an owner member of SupplyForce. Eastern shares the number 47 ranking with Shively Brothers due to their revenue tie at $140 million. Flint, Michigan's Shively saw some executive changes in 2019, most notably the retirement of company president Marty Kenny, a Shively fixture for 35 years. New president Chris Clarembo told us earlier this year that the company signed a major new contract in January of this year that would have resulted in bigger gains would the pandemic not have hit other areas. He said that a PPP loan helped keep payroll intact, and Shively used the slower period in April and May to make progress on some internal goals, including developing its new hire training program and continuing education system it calls Shively Academy. Our number 46 company jumped 4 spots this year. Let's go to Mike Hockett for more on Mallory Safety and Supply.
With more than 20 acquisitions under its belt over the past 16 years, Portland, Oregon-based Mallory Safety and Supply has added another this year, purchasing St. Louis-based Wise Safety in August. The company jumped 4 spots from last year's Big 50, and a Mallory representative says the company's most recent acquisition is expected to help boost it above $200 million for fiscal 2020. Wise was the largest bolt-on for Mallory since its 2005 inception. It added 9 locations and pushed the company's total nationwide locations count to 30. And Mallory noted the acquisition may now make the company the largest independent safety and industrial distributor in the United States. Mallory has also expanded its existing operations in Denver and Salt Lake City.
Ibt Industrial Solutions came in at number 45 this year, touting $147 million in sales and slipping 1 spot from last year. Up a full 5 spots from the previous year's list is number 44 company Jgb Enterprises, who saw sales increase 12% year over year. To tell us more about this New York-based distributor's position is Jgb's CEO, Bob Zawicki.
You mentioning that we moved up a bit this year. I've always been impressed with the fact that, say, $150 million in revenue, that we do it with 6 locations, which I think is smaller than your typical entry in the ID Big 50. So we're very thoughtful on where we want to be and how we're growing. We are looking for acquisitions this year and next. We'd like to expand our geographic footprint get into some new markets, have further reach for our products, but they'll be thought out acquisitions in areas that we'd like to be. We're very mindful as we go through 2020 and beyond to build the type of company that, frankly, somebody on the ID Big 50 at the higher end may find us a very attractive target at some point. Very small overlap with what we do. Locations, it would be a seamless acquisition, and frankly, we bring extraordinary competency to our product sets. We have production capabilities, back-end fulfillment, and doing work with the government. I think that's an added bonus. It's a $700 billion market that a lot of people aren't exposed to. I wouldn't want to start a company in it today, but having 35 plus years of experience, I think we bring something to the table.
Number 43 on this year's list is Texas-based Womack Machine Supply, who maintain its position from last year with stable sales volume, ticking up less than 1%. Just ahead is Crescent Electric with industrial sales of $199 million in our number 42 spot. 2019 brought an additional $9 million in sales, not to mention a new CEO. Scott Tierlink succeeded Marty Burbridge, who spent 41 years with the company. Number 41 on this year's Big 50 list is CBT Company. With 3 Ohio locations, CBT says it is the region's largest full-service industrial automation distributor. The company, who jumped 9 Big 50 list spots in the past 5 years, saw a sales dip of 1.9% in 2019. Its most recent acquisition was FDL Automation and Supply in 2016. Bridgestone Hose Power is our number 40 company, and we'll go to Mike Hockett for more about this active distributor.
Bridgestone Hose Power, a subsidiary of Bridgestone Corporation, saw its 2019 sales jump 3.4% after a sizable jump of 23% the year prior. The company has been active recently, opening new locations in Charlotte, North Carolina, and LaPorte, Texas. Hose Power also reported completing a 45,000 square foot addition in Orange Park, Florida, and noted the acquisition of Hydro Hose in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Hydro Hose, a 35-year-old company with a second state location in Yorktown, was owned and operated by Greg Kirby. According to Hose Power, Kirby stayed on with Hose Power and now also manages its existing business in Norfolk. Hydro Hose was a Gates Manuli distributor, but has been converted to Bridgestone's FlexDrill brand.
Built from the ground up, just for distribution, you can rely on Epicor Profit 21 to streamline, modernize, and grow your business with confidence.
At number 39 on our list, we have Cedar Falls, Iowa-based Bossard, a distributor who has acknowledged the impact of a soft industrial market starting in 2019. Bossard's sales dropped 3.8% from fiscal year 2018 to 2019 and, like many distributors, has struggled to regain footing in 2020. At number 38, Hydradyne also experienced a sales dip year over year, dropping 5.3% in revenue and slipping 1 spot on our list. Just ahead at 37, Ten Carva of Greensboro, North Carolina, who gained more than 5% in sales and capped 2019 by announcing that it had been named an authorized distributor of Ingersoll Rand Aero brand fluid products in North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Our number 36 company is Mainstay DGI Supply of Wheeling, Illinois. Mike Hockett has more about this company, who has made a name for itself with its history of growth through acquisition.
DGI Supply's 2019 sales dipped about 4% from the prior year, but the Dual company remained aggressive on the acquisition front coming into 2020. It expanded its footprint in Illinois and southern Wisconsin when it added production tool and supply of Rockford in May, which allowed DGI to combine inventory with a location it has 9 miles away. DGI's most recent addition before that was San Leandro, California-based MRO distributor Coast Tool Industrial Solutions in 2017. Representing more than 1,500 supplier brand names and in business since 1927, DGI Supply now has 25 branches in North America.
With $300 million in sales, our number 35 company is Kimball Midwest of Columbus, Ohio. The company's sales increased an impressive 11% year over year, and CEO Pat McCurdy had this to say.
I think, we've always looked at this as being a people business, rooted in relationships. When we look at it from a long-term perspective, we've always felt that if we support all of our associates, they can do a better job serving our customers and each other. You know, when you're a family business, I do think there's a distinction. No reason to go into that, but sometimes when you look at these kind of environments, when you have a national pandemic, which seems to happen every 100 years, or any economic event, our choices are normally to make sure that we're able to protect our people. We had no layoffs during the COVID impact. We hope we can keep that. I guess nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, but it's always good to say that, having done this over 40 years, that we've never had any economic or national event that's caused us to lay off people. And that's part of being family owned and operated and living the vision, values, and mission that we have.
50-year-old ESOP distributor Hisco has remained relatively steady in its reported revenue of $325 million, which, due to a tie with our next listing, shares the number 33 slot. Earlier this year, Hisco detailed its efforts towards maximizing its organic search potential, an initiative that was enough to net the company an award from tech supplier Insight Software. Our other number 33 ranked company is Turtle & Hughes of Linden, New Jersey. Turtle & Hughes declined to reveal its revenue last year, but this year noted that its industrial division brought in $325 million, though in total, the company's sales exceeded $700 million when its electrical division is included. At 32, Wisconsin's Endries International grew sales a modest 1.2% and also purchased Industrial Products Company. Endries has continued to pursue strategic acquisitions since, including Fastener Service Corporation in Morgan Hill, California in January, and All West Components and Fasteners in Seattle, Washington in June of 2020. And wrapping up our first segment, we'll take a look at number 31 on the Big 50, Lawson Products, the Chicago-based MRO distributor that's up 6% year over year. A company representative told ID that, quote, Lawson is focused on growth, specifically on growing revenue through increasing its field sales force, increasing productivity, and growth through acquisitions. In early September, Lawson announced its most sizable acquisition in 5 years, Greenville, Texas-based PartsMaster. And with Lawson, we wrap up the first segment of our presentation. Congratulations to all the Big 50 companies we've named thus far. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for rankings numbered 30 through 11.